Hey everyone! Today's summary is The Undoing of Saint Silvanus by Beth Moore. It's spoiler-filled and based on my take. If you haven't read it yet, watch this first book, links in the description. Gillian Slater lives with her boyfriend Vince, who also owns the restaurant where she works. One day, while Vince was away on a business trip, Gillian received a call informing her that her father, Rafe, had died. Unsure if it was the right thing to do, she decided to fly to New Orleans. When she arrived, she was greeted by Adela, Olivia's assistant. Olivia is Gillian's grandmother, who showed no interest in having Gillian around. It turns out Olivia didn't know Gillian was coming. Adela had invited her, thinking it was for the best. Gillian was not happy with how things were in New Orleans. Olivia wasn't thrilled to see her, and Gillian found it strange that her grandmother was living in an old church with other tenants. The tenants include David, Karen, and Vida. David is a friendly professor, Karen is a med student, always busy with her studies, and Vida is an elderly woman who often acts like her deceased husband is still alive. During her first visit to New Orleans, Gillian stayed at an inn because she couldn't imagine living in an old church with her estranged grandmother. She didn't stay long. On her second visit, Gillian had no choice. She had broken up with Vince after catching him cheating with another waiter. She left his loft and took money from him, as she had no access to her own. While living with him, he had managed all the finances. Desperate, Gillian flew back to New Orleans and asked Adela for help. Adela then referred her to Olivia. Gillian stayed at the old church since she didn't have anywhere else to go. She is close to her mother, but their relationship feels more like sisters or friends. Her mother often prioritized her boyfriends over Gillian. Gillian and Olivia agreed that she would stay for a week until she could find a job and get back on her feet. She ended up staying longer than that. Olivia eventually told her she could stay as long as she wanted. The room Gillian stayed in used to belong to her father, Rafe. After a few days, Gillian found both a job and a friend. She got a job as a waitress at a nearby cafe and met a new friend named Stella, who she ran into while out strolling. During Gillian's stay, strange incidents started happening at St. Sands. Someone left a doll, a knife, and even tried to harm them. Only Gillian and David were hurt. One afternoon, while the police were at the church, Olivia revealed that some money she had kept in a drawer was missing. Adela looked accusingly at Gillian, knowing she had taken money from her ex-boyfriend. Offended by the accusation, Gillian packed her bags, stormed out of St. Sands, and went to Stella's apartment. When Gillian arrived at Stella's, she was cleaning and wasn't prepared for an unexpected visitor, but she still welcomed Gillian. Stella had to leave for a while, and Gillian took a shower in the meantime. When Gillian got out of the bathroom, something caught her eye: a photo of Rafe and Stella. Curious, she began rummaging through Stella's things. When Stella returned, she tried to explain why she had a photo with Rafe. Stella admitted they had been in a relationship. To help Gillian understand the situation better, she asked her to come along so she could show her something. Stella brought Gillian to what looked like a storage room and showed her some news articles. These revealed that Stella was the child of Mr. Nolan, a man who had committed suicide after Mr. Fontaine, Olivia's husband and Gillian's grandfather, tricked him and left him bankrupt. Stella had been plotting revenge for a long time. After sharing the truth, Stella ordered a gigantic man named Crawley, who was mentally challenged, to hit Gillian on the head. After some hesitation, Crawley eventually obeyed. Meanwhile, back at St. Sands, everyone was worried because of how suddenly Gillian had left. When Vida heard that Gillian still hadn't returned, especially after they had been attacked, she finally started talking again. She told everyone they would need ransom money to get Gillian back, and revealed she had hidden the money they thought was stolen. The cash Olivia believed had gone missing, and which they had accused Gillian of taking, had actually been hidden by Vida all along. This revelation made them even more concerned, and Adela was filled with guilt. The police were actively searching for Gillian by Bully and Cal. Bully liked Gillian and was a bit obvious about it, while Cal had secretly started liking her too. They began their search at the cafe, then moved on to Stella's apartment. There, they found Crawley and began interrogating him. He was the suspect in the break-in at St. Sands with a knife. Although it was difficult to communicate with him, After a few questions, he was able to say Stella's name. No one was home, but they found Jillian's shirt in the trash can. One of them also found a receipt for a storage room, which they tracked down, and that's where they found Jillian. She was badly hurt, but alive. While in the ambulance, Jillian told Cal that Stella was the one who killed her dad. Back at St. Sands, Bully was outside the old church when Stella hit him with her car. It took weeks for Jillian to recover. Olivia was so worried that she contacted Jillian's mom, who became frantic and insisted that Jillian come home as soon as she was well enough to travel. When Jillian finally recovered, she found out that Bully had been hit by Stella and was in critical condition. No one had told her earlier because they didn't want her to worry. Jillian visited Bully and prayed for him. It was a relief to see that he was slowly getting better, despite the doctor's warnings not to get their hopes up. In the end, he recovered and was able to return to work. The ending. Jillian stayed at St. Sands after discovering that her mom had gotten a new boyfriend just as she was about to fly home. Her relationship with everyone, especially Olivia, dramatically improved. Olivia decided to donate Nolan's money to charity. Jillian offered to share her inheritance with Olivia, which had originally been intended for her father, Rafe. Jillian enrolled in a cooking class, a gift from Olivia. She also began dating Cal, the policeman. Although she initially rejected him because she wasn't ready for a relationship, Cal patiently waited. He wrote her a letter every month and left it with the cemetery's caretaker, asking him to give it to Jillian if she ever visited her dad's grave. When she finally went and received the letters, she texted Cal. The End, The Undoing of Saint Silvanus by Beth Moore. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the summary and want to read the full book, the link's in my bio. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other summaries. See you next time.